You know that feeling when a friend is eyeing a massive outdoor grill and you can see the hesitation in their voice, like, what if I spend a ton of money and it ends up just another piece of metal I barely use? I've been there, scrolling through endless options, watching YouTube unbox videos, and reading the occasional forum rant about burnt food and flimsy frames. I wanted to make sure I wasn't just throwing cash at a shiny thing that would sit half-assembled in the backyard for months. So I dug into the specifics of the Mont Alpi 94-inch modular outdoor kitchen island, talked to a few people who already own similar setups, and put together what actually matters when you're deciding whether this beast belongs in your yard. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. First off, the idea behind the Alpi is simple. It's a full-size kitchen island that arrives almost ready to roll out, with a 6-burner, 115,000 BTU gas grill at its heart. That's a lot of heat, enough to sear a steak in seconds or get a pizza stone scorching hot for a crisp crust. The island itself is built from 304 stainless steel, which means it won't rust the way a painted grill might after a rainy summer. The modular design means the main body comes pre-assembled, and you simply attach the side burner, griddle, and pizza kit that are all packaged together. No need to spend a weekend screwing panels together while the kids are begging for a burger. Now, the real question is whether that power and size translate into everyday value. If you're the type who throws weekend barbecues for a crowd of 10 or more, the 990 square inches of cooking surface is a genuine advantage. Imagine having the main grill at 44 inches across, a side burner for sauces, a flat-top griddle for breakfast eggs, and a dedicated pizza kit all on the same island. You can start a steak on the grill, finish a sauce on the side burner, and pop a pizza on the stone without ever leaving the island. That kind of flow is what serious backyard chefs talk about when they say they want a workstation rather than a single-purpose grill. On the flip side, that same breadth can become a headache if your patio or deck isn't up to the size. The Alpi stretches 94 inches long, almost 8 feet, so you need a fairly open area just to accommodate the footprint, plus clearance for the gas line and any side tables you might want to set up. If you live in an apartment complex with a small balcony or a townhouse with a tight patio, the island will dominate the space and limit where you can put seating or a fire pit. I've heard from a few people who tried to squeeze a similar-sized island into a 12 by 12-foot yard and ended up feeling cramped every time they wanted to move around. Installation is another practical point. The unit ships with the gas line already connected to the main grill, but you still have to run a propane or natural gas line to the island itself. That's not a DIY job for most people. You'll likely need a professional plumber to make sure the connection meets local codes. The upfront cost of that service can add a couple $100s to the total expense, which is something to factor in if you're budgeting tightly. Cleaning is where the Alpi tries to earn extra points. The front of the island has a pull-out grease tray that slides out like a drawer, making it easy to scrape off drippings without crouching over a hot grill. The stainless steel surface is wiped down with a simple spray of soapy water, and because the grill grades are standard stainless, you can replace them if they ever get warped. In practice, that means after a big weekend cookout, you spend maybe 10 minutes on cleanup instead of an hour wrestling with a stubborn grease fire. For anyone who values low upkeep, that design choice is a solid win. But there are hidden trade-offs. The modular pieces, while convenient, add up in weight. The whole island feels like a small car when you try to move it. It's not something you can just roll around with a hand truck. Once it's placed, you're pretty much committing to that spot unless you're prepared to enlist a crew to shift it. Also, the 6 burners are each controlled by a separate knob, which sounds great until you're juggling a dozen different foods and trying to keep track of which knob is which. Some users find the layout a bit confusing at first, especially if they're used to a simpler 2-burner system. So, who should really consider the Mont Alpi? If you have a dedicated outdoor space, love to entertain, and enjoy the process of cooking multiple dishes at once, this island is essentially a backyard kitchen you didn't know you needed. Think of families with teens who want pizza nights, couples who host holiday barbecues, or hobbyist grill masters who experiment with smoked ribs, sautéed vegetables, and dessert pancakes in a single session. The ability to switch